Kwee Lin. I came from a very nondescript primary school called De La Salle, and not many people know it. It's somewhere in the middle of Kampong Baru, and I got into RI in 1977, and there were only a few of us from my school that went into RI, maybe three or four, and most of them actually go to SJI because our school was linked to SJI as a Catholic school. So started in RI in Sec 1, and I would say it's probably 10 times the size of my primary school. A little bit of a shocker when I went there, and they had a swimming pool as well as a big soccer field, and yeah, it was a good start to my secondary school life. I remember that actually because the first thing we need to do was to look for your name on the notice board, and we're all hunting for our names, and then which class you go to, and I ended up in Sec 1A. Yeah, so there were a lot of other kids around me, and then it was quite an exciting day, I would say. Actually, we didn't know what A means. It's just a class, so everybody was just like, classmates, and then we did what we did lah, which is to listen to the teacher, study, and do whatever we're supposed to do. At that time, we didn't really realize that A means the top class in school. It was more of just A lor. Actually, there wasn't really much of whether we're impressed because everybody looked the same in those days. We all had the same uniform, and then we kind of looked normal to each other. There wasn't really any. I didn't feel that there was any difference. Of course, at the back of my mind, you can see that some kids, their parents send them to school in nice cars, and then I myself would take bus every day, every morning. So of course, there's some sort of difference, but it didn't really kind of register that there was like a big gap between me and my classmates. Yeah. Okay. So we participated in the in those days there was this S&I quiz and science challenge which they broadcast on TV, and it was quite a big thing. So it was quite interesting because we kind of prepared ourselves for the team, for the challenge, and then we had to go to the broadcasting station. In those days was I don't know, TCS or maybe even before that, and we went to the recording studio, and then we did our did our competition, and it was broadcast on TV. So in a way it was pretty exciting to see yourself on TV. I recall there was Anthony Ng, Andre Wan, and a few seniors offhand I can't recall their names. Yeah. Okay, I think I spent a bit of time in the gardening society, and then you remember it was Mr. Himat Gil Singh who was the teacher in charge. So he make us weed the grass around the trees, plant flowers, and then urinate into the watering can, add water and water the plants. So that was interesting. I've not done any gardening before. There's no garden in my house, so it was interesting, but I think it was not easy to make your plot look nice. It's more difficult than it looks to get a nice flower plot, flower bed. Yeah. We knew I knew that urine is a natural fertilizer So to do it this way, of course, was a bit unusual, but it made sense. Cheap fertilizer for the flowers. Yeah, it made sense. So we just did it. I don't think people really walked so close to the flowers or the trees. I mean, it was somewhere on the side of the driveway from Grange Road. So people wouldn't just normally go there unless they were doing some PE or something like that. But normally we don't go, so nobody cares really how it smells. I also did a bit of work in the library because I don't know, the library seemed quite an interesting place because in those days the only entertainment you get was library. Go to library and borrow books. So I remember spending some time as a librarian, maybe just 1 year, because you can clock up some ECA points, plus you can sit in the library and read while you are waiting for things to happen. People to come and borrow books. So just sit in the library, read, and somebody needs to borrow a book, you just kind of help them out and get the process done. So yeah, the library was like quiet, nice, get some points and then just sit there and read. Honestly, I cannot quite remember now how it works, but the library classification system is they have a whole list of reference numbers, and then each number means a certain subject, a certain then you have like alphabets to identify from A to Z the authors or something like that. So I guess in those days we have a list where we know how to return the books, put it back correctly, and where to look for books. Of course, the old library system is there's a card, right? And then when somebody borrows a book, you just kind of write down on the card, who borrowed it, and then you store the card somewhere in a box, and then when they return, you look for the card, put it back in the book, and then that's it. A very mechanical system, not very interesting. Now it's a lot better. You don't need to do anything. You just scan your book and that's it. Yeah. Well, I remember that going to support our teams during all those sports events, like rugby and soccer and even athletics, I guess, during those national competitions. That was quite fun because basically we get the day off, don't need to sit in the class. So a bunch of us, I can't remember how we got there. Maybe sometimes there were buses to bring us there, or we make our way there on our own to the venue, and then we gather where all the RI people are, and then cheer our team. I thought that was quite fun, and it's great when you win, and then we all be very sad when we lose. So that was one of the highlights of school life. It's also like to us entertainment because you got to watch a sports event, live. Yeah, that was quite fun. I remember that it was the first year actually that they introduced computer science into the pre-U class, because it was only in pre-U that they had that, and the teachers were new also. I think they were also not very well, I would say they were not very well trained in teaching, and I'm not sure where the curriculum came from, but okay, I think it was decent. We kind of learned about computer algorithms, flowcharts and stuff like that, how to do programming, and I remember we had all those, I think it was a PDP 11 or something like that, and we had to go and program it in those days, those COBOL or Fortran, very old language. That was quite a interesting new experience, and there were some really smart people in our class, and before we were just kind of following the the teachers, but they're already like doing something far beyond, you know. They have their own computers at home, you know. And in those days, you had the first Apple II or Apple I, whichever. And some of my friends already had that, and they were doing all sorts of crazy stuff with it. And yeah, we were kind of a bit far behind them. Yeah, I think the first one I knew of was Anthony Ng. Yeah, and after that a few others bought it as well. So yeah, he was like already doing stuff before we knew what was happening. Okay, so after leaving RI, finished my A-level, I went to UK and studied mathematics in London, and came back and joined the Air Force. Yeah, because I was on a scholarship, and spent almost 12 years in the Air Force. And then following that, I went into the telco industry, spent another 10-15 years there, and now I'm working as a financial advisor, helping individuals to plan for their financial needs. Basically a bit of insurance planning and a bit of retirement planning. So I'm doing that right now. So I can't say I'm retired, but more of doing things at a more manageable pace without being too stressed out, like when I was in the corporate job. So as let's say at 60 years old, I think I want to be more have more control of my own time, be able to do things that I've always wanted to do but had no time or no money. So now is the time to do things that I would like to do. So a bit of work as a financial advisor, and then I spend time let's say learning the guitar, which I started during the pandemic. So spend time doing a bit of music, spend time also playing golf and some exercise, and spend more time with my family, take more holidays than before. So I think we need to have a balance of different things and not just work. So now I believe I lead a more balanced life and a more happy life, because you know I don't have to always be meeting work requirements and meeting KPIs. Yeah, and I think that it would not be possible not to have any kind of meaningful work. It doesn't have to be a paying job, but you probably need something that can inspire you or occupy your time. It could be an interesting hobby, could be non-profit work, volunteering. So I think a balance of everything will be the right formula as we go into retirement years.